everybody, and welcome back to the channel. The mid-season patch notes just dropped for Overwatch, and let's take a look at them, see what's been changed. So, hero predictions on this. Sojourn definitely needs to be nerfed. There's no question on that. As far as tanks, Doom could use some nerfs. He's definitely overpowered. I mean, not like to the point of being broken, but a good Doom player is almost unstoppable at the moment, so they definitely need to address that a little bit. None of the other tanks really stand out as being too strong. As far as needing to be buffed, God, I feel dirty even saying this, but honestly, they might need to give a few buffs to Mauga. And I'm sure that's going to piss off nearly everybody who watches this. But I've got to say it. Mauga is one of the worst characters ever to be added to this game. There's no good way to put it. There's nothing good about the character other than his lore. But I never want to go back to how it was when he first released. That was a miserable meta. It doesn't matter what level you were at as far as rank or quick play or arcade, whatever. He was a nightmare across the board. But I am a firm believer that all heroes need to at least be playable. And for this season so far and most of last season, he's not playable. Unless the enemy team also has Mauga or maybe Hog, then he's useless. Because the DPS at this point are so strong. I mean, people complain about the tanks being overpowered, but all of your tank buster DPS are in the best state they've been in probably since Overwatch 2's release. Bastion's good, Hanzo's good, Reaper's good, Torbjorn's good. Heck, Symmetra is broken in the lower ranks. Giving her beam extra damage and range was insane as a perk. So, Mauga just walks out and dies without accomplishing anything. If they have an Ana or a Zenyatta, Mauga just disappears before you even know he's there. So, as much as I hate a Mauga meta, they do need to buff him a little bit so that he's at least playable. On DPS, other than Sojourn, I've already mentioned Sojourn. Tracer could probably use a minor nerf. I'd say probably instead of the recall refilling the blinks, maybe just have it refill 1 or 2 would probably be what she would actually need, because she was already strong before the perk system got added. I can't really think of any DPS that are extremely weak right now. Oh, Torbjorn. Torbjorn's another one that's definitely going to need a nerf. Or not him specifically, but rather his turret. Because with you being able to put it anywhere and go to level 3 turrets, they just need to reduce the base damage and probably the base health on it. And then he would be fine. And supports, none of the supports really stand out to me at the moment. They're all fairly balanced. I mean, Weaver and Mercy are so team dependent that you can't really balance them, because 90% of their value is still going to depend on how they're working with their team. But as far as their individual kits, I don't think they're as weak as everybody says. So yeah, that's going to be the main ones, is nerfing Sojourn and Torbjorn. And other than that, it's just minor stuff. But I'm not expecting there to be very many major changes to base numbers and base kits in this. Because since this is the first big patch since the perks were released, most of this is probably going to be fine-tuning perks and maybe quality of life changes to the perks. But let's get into it. Overwatch 2 patch notes March 18th, 2025. We got the new Le Seraphim crossover. Back with new collab, bringing their energy, attitude, and bold aesthetic to the battlefield, with 5 brand new legendary skins featuring vibrant colors and standout details, like Ash's Dynamite to light up the fight with RGB effects. I need to see how that one looks in game, because that sounds pretty cool. This collection is a must-have for fans of both Overwatch 2 and Le Seraphim. Complete in-game challenges to earn free cosmetics, including the legendary Foxy James Junkrat skin. So is that going to be the same one from the first event, or is it a recolor? Don't know. We'll find out. Overwatch 2 Classic GOATS meta. Step into Overwatch history with Overwatch Classic GOATS, where teamwork, sustain, and strategy reign supreme. I never played GOATS meta, but from what I've heard, there wasn't that much strategy involved. It was basically tanks run forward, hold W. The iconic meta defined an entire era of competitive play, proving that 3 tanks, 3 supports, and perfectly timed abilities could be the ultimate formula for victory. Whether you remember GOATS from its prime or experiencing it for the first time, now's your chance to relive one of Overwatch's most influential moments that rewrote the rules of team play. Overwatch 2 Classic GOATS begins on March 25th. I thought that started today, so that one's next week. Heroes added will include Moira, Brig, and Wrecking Ball. Maps will be Blizzard World, Rialto, and Busan, and hero balance adjusted to what it was in September 2018. New mythic weapon, Widowmaker's Dame Chance? Why are we giving it to Widowmaker? Hasn't she had a skin in every battle pass or every collab up till this one, pretty much? That's kind of weird. A gift from Talon's favorite financier, Dame Chance, is a rifle of grace, refinement, and supreme lethality, featuring the stunning crystalline core that reacts to your performance, evolving customization, exclusive animations, and dynamic mythic HUD. So that can't be the actual HUD. That's just got to be the scope, right? Because that'd be weird for it to change the regular game HUD. This is the ultimate sniper's flex. If you live for those pixel-perfect headshots, it's time to show the world what true precision looks like with the mythic Dame Chance Widowmaker weapon skin. Alright, so now what we're all actually here for, which is just the hero updates. Tanks. Deep wounds, extended wound duration increased from 0.25 to 0.5. I'm trying to think. The heal from the wounds, does it tick 5 times a second or 10? It's got to be 10 if it was a 0.5. So, I mean, that's a decent buff, I guess, assuming you choose that perk. I don't think it's going to be a noticeable amount, though, because if it's ticking every 0.1 seconds, that's going to have you regaining, what, an extra 25 health? I mean, I guess that could matter. There's a lot of fights where you survive with less than 25 health, but alright, we'll just call that a quality of life change. Ramatra. Prolonged barrier now additionally increases the size of the barrier by 25%. I mean, that's fine. I don't see that affecting much. It's not often you put the barrier far enough away from you for the size to be relevant anyway, so that's fine. Reinhardt. Ooh, got 2. Crusader's Resolve. Passive regeneration trigger rate increased from 50 to 75%, and cooldown on the Shield Slam reduced from 8 to 6 seconds. Both of those are fine. The fact that you can't counterpin on the Shield Slam is kind of annoying, since you can do it with Brig's Shield. So reducing it to 6 seconds is fine as long as you're not able to counterpin with it. So that's nothing major. Roadhog. Hog Toss now also increases the damage of Pigpen. That's a weird one. That actually is going to make the play style with it a lot different. Because you would actually benefit it from just throwing it into the... Since you could throw it further and now it does more damage, instead of keeping it close to try and use a one-shot combo, you would actually benefit more just throwing it at the enemy team when they're grouped up. Yeah, that'd be basically using the pig pen as a grenade would probably be more effective with that change. I have to play around with that one. Winston, short circuit damage versus deployable objects increased from 30 to 50. That's a good change. Nothing really more to say about that. It's going to depend on. I mean, the sim turrets, who cares? But that's going to depend on if what they changed on Torbjorn. Because if they lowered the health on his turret significantly, then this might be too much. If they left it where it's at or only reduced it by like 25 or 50, then this is fine. Wrecking Ball. Wait, damage. That's all the tank changes? I mean, I guess that's most of the roster, but I really expected something for Doom and probably Zarya, so that's kind of odd. Anyway, Wrecking Ball. Transfer efficiency. Allied transfer cost reduction increased from 33 to 50%. I mean, most ball players don't even use that. It's very rare that you see a Wrecking Ball grouped up with his team enough to get a benefit out of that ability. You usually just save the shields for yourself and just go for the back line. So that's, I will call it a quality of life, but it's kind of a pointless buff. Damage, Bastion. Self-repair now. Okay, that was a necessary change. It hasn't come up too much in the lower level lobbies just because nobody knows how to focus. But the fact that he could just sit there and infinite heal was stupid. They should have had the resource bar there from the beginning. Cassidy, past noon. Ultimate charge refunded, increased from 30 to 40%. Nobody cares. That's still one of the worst ults in the game. I've used it multiple times just to reload. Genji, 3. Acrobatics now also resets double jump on a wall climb. Meditation, healing increased from 25 to 35 per second. Blade twisting, during a duration after an elimination to trigger bonus damage increased from 6 to 10. Bonus damage is now dealt over 1 second instead of 2 seconds. Oh, crap. These first two, nobody cares. This last one. Good Genji players are already annoying to deal with. Just straight up boosting their damage is always scary. I don't know how I feel about that one. The first two are fine. This last one I don't think was necessary. What was the reason? The utility of Genji's perks, such as acrobatics and blade twisting, have been limited due to specific use cases. We have improved the conditions of these perks, increased the healing and meditation. Okay, well, it doesn't say anything about the blade twisting. So that's... I don't like that last one. The first two, no, I'm fine with, but that last one I don't really like. May. Permafrost no longer increases cooldown of Ice Wall. That's fine. I mean, when the wall goes up 90% of the time, either you just shoot it down or walk around it. It's very rare that people are still standing beside it the whole time anyway, so that's fine. Pharah, Helix Shields. Converted shields increases from 75 to 125. Whoop, hit the mic. Bad change. Pharah does not need a way to boost her shields any further. Reaper, Dire Triggers. Recovery time reduced from 0.97 to 0.7. Sure. That's fine. Stim pack on Soldier. Cast time reduced from 0.4 to 0.15. That is a great change. I love that one. There were so many times I considered not taking that perk just because of how long it took to activate. And second part, Stim pack anti-hail is now cleansable. Ooh. I mean, it wastes a cooldown from the Kiriko, but I think that's unnecessary. The whole point of it was to be able to buff yourself in exchange for the anti. I like the cooldown change. I don't like the cleanse. Sombra. Stack overflow. Range penalty reduced from 30% to 15%. Why? White hat. Hack is now interruptible from damage when healing allies. Yeah, I don't like either of those. Trying to keep it from heavily impacting her core gameplay. Well, I mean, you're impacting her core gameplay just from those perks existing. You stopping trying to heal your team instead of going for the enemy backline is already changing her core gameplay. Trying to make adjustments to that now to make her want to focus more on damage is stupid. That's literally like, hey, take this perk, but we don't want you to use it. It's pretty much what this is saying. That's just stupid changes right there. Torbjorn, please nerf the turret. Deploy a turret. Base health is reduced from 250 to 225. Okay, so that's a good change. And with it only being 25, then that's going to balance out with that Winston change. So that's good. Base damage reduced from 13 to 12. So that's fine. Craftsman now additionally increases turret deploy base health by 25. That's fine. Yeah, so those are good, both good changes. I like this one. So far, that's the first one right now I can just say is a great change. Tracer. That said support. Did I miss Sojourn? Wow, there's going to be so many people pissed off that Sojourn did not get touched. I'll have to recap on that one at the end because that's insane. That's truly insane that Sojourn did not get touched. Tracer. Quantum entanglement. Overhealth duration increased from 3.5 to 6 seconds. Sure, that's fine. The only perk that you could have adjusted meaningfully would have been regaining the blinks when you recall. Anything else is just a cosmetic change, so I really don't care about this one. Supports. Baptiste, automated healing. Healing per shot is increased from 25 to 30. Okay. Assault burst. Attack speed increased from 20% to 30%. Okay, I need to see the reason on this one. Increasing assault burst attack speed to balance its loss of instant healing. Also boosted automated healing as its current effectiveness is low for an ultimate perk. Baptiste's perks did need changes. I mean, the jump perk is pointless. The AoE heal perk makes him worse. All of his perks needed to be adjusted, but this is not what I was expecting. I can't even speak on this one. It's just so weird. I'm going to have to actually go in game and try that one. So for now, I'm just going to give a pass on Baptiste changes until I can actually try them. But I feel like we're turning him into BAP 76 again, where he's going to be focused almost entirely on damage. Brig, barrier restoration. After shield bashing, Brigitte gains 30% movement speed for 1.5 seconds. That's a weird one. I mean, it's fine. I mean, that gives you a chance to, if you mess up and bash at a wrong angle, it gives you a chance to get out alive, so that's a plus. I don't think it's going to be anything game-changing, though. Iari, she probably could have used a buff. Solar rifle, weapon recharging no longer paused when using quick melee. That should have always been that way. Summer Solstice additionally provides 30% attack speed while Captive Sun is activated. neither of those changes are going to affect anything. She's still going to be one of the lowest picked supports just because her entire kit revolves around that pylon. Until they make changes to the pylon, yeah, Ayari's just kind of there. Juno reboots. Now also increases the duration of glide boost by 25%. Sure, why not? Changes nothing. Lifeweaver, Super Bloom. Damage increased from 30 to 40. Number of hits to trigger increased from 16 to 20. Window of time to land hits increased from 1.5 to 2.5. So does more damage, takes longer to trigger, but you have more of a window of time to trigger it. I feel like that's overall going to be a buff in a 1v1 situation, but a nerf in a team fight. Because that means to trigger it, he's going to have to spend even longer focused on damage. And his Lifeweaver's biggest strength, no matter how much it annoys people, is his raw healing. I mean, that's why they make jokes about him being a better Ayari pylon, that's his biggest benefit, is his raw heals. And so, to modify it, to encourage him to spend more time damaging, is an odd one. Life Weaving, bonus to Healing Blossom, and okay, that's fine. So this really isn't going to change anything about him, except that he's going to be encouraged to do more damage. That's weird. And Mercy. Flash Heal, cast time reduced from 0.875 to 0.4. Nobody's going to care. So that's all the hero changes? Let's recap this real quick before we go on. Look at the bug fixes. Nothing. Winston's a good change against the the deployables. The way I'm using Pigpen is probably going to change just because I get more value using it offensively. Good change on the resource meter. Pharah did not need a shield buff. The soldier one, I'm going to have to wait and see. I do like the reduced cast time, but I don't think it should be cleansed. The somber changes are just straight up stupid. I mean, there was no reason to give her the team support playstyle with the healing perks and all that, just to turn around and modify them to try and encourage her to not take those perks. That's stupid. Torb, great changes. Doesn't matter. BAP, I'm going to have to try. Doesn't matter. Weird. So the biggest takeaway from the hero changes is Torb did get nerfed as needed, and Sojourn did not get touched. Sojourn is a menace in every single rank, from bronze all the way to champion, and did not get touched. I genuinely do not understand that one. Now, granted, I can't think of a good way to fix Sojourn either. I mean, the simplest thing would just be to put the railgun on a cooldown. But then that takes away her whole identity of charging, is what her kit is designed around. The other option would be to either greatly increase the amount of time or the amount of shots it takes to charge it, or reduce the damage of her primary fire significantly. That way, when she is shooting primary, it's entirely to build the charge, and she's not killing stuff as well. I mean, the speed and spread on her projectiles are almost hit scan at this point. You should not be it's one thing to be able to charge off the tank and then turn and use the railgun on somebody. That at least makes sense. But you should not be able to primary fire kill a Pharah out of midair and then turn around and have full charge off that to kill the Mercy with her. That's stupid. yeah, people are going to be up in arms about that for a while. There's no reason Sojourn should not have been nerfed into the ground on this. All right, what else we got? Bug fixes. Maximilian's Vault wasn't showing all cards. I haven't seen that bug. Overwatch League shop was missing from the item menu. Well, I mean, Overwatch League doesn't even exist anymore, so I'm surprised that's even available for sale. Issue causing disconnects with replay. Fixed an issue with loot box thumbnails not appearing. Issue with switch spawn button not work. Okay, that one I have had multiple times, so I'm glad they fixed that one. Fixed a bug where some skins were incorrectly showing they were available for purchase. Fixed a bug where Ana's Bastet skin was missing from the game. That's an odd bug. Hero bugs in a previous update fixed an issue where Orissa's overhealth would not restore if fully depleted using the Bulwark perk. Haven't noticed that one. So nothing major on the bug fixes. Well, I say that. No, the switch spawn one was a major bug, so I'm glad they got fixed. But overall, this is about what was expected. It was basically just tweaking the perks more than anything else. The only one with significant changes was Torbjorn. And potentially Pharah. I don't know how much an extra 50 shields is really going to affect there, but we'll have to see. And then the big elephant in the room is just that Sojourn didn't get touched. I'm still in disbelief over that. But, yeah, so that's going to be the mid-season patch notes. Hope y'all enjoyed, learned what you need to learn off of this. Go out there and enjoy the rest of the season. Y'all have a good one.